Hey everybody, welcome to Froggy Stocks. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Getting a space call set up for Operation DRS AMC. I will be answering DRS questions all day and talking with fellow community members about DRS. So here we go. Getting the space call set up. This will be an open channel. Anybody who has any questions can come up and ask them. We'll wait till more people enter the room and I'll get the space call set up on my PC. And till more people enter the room and I'll get the space call set up on my PC. Join the space call. Can come up and ask them. There we go. All right. We're up and running. I'm also going to bring up a few websites like ComputerShare and there's another website that the GME crowd made, and I got to find it again. drsgme.org, which has basically everything you need to know about DRS is at drsgme.org, which is amazing that these guys and gals have made this page. Why register shares, how to register shares, why do GME investors DRS? The DRS process is the same for AMC as it is GME. Same company, same ComputerShare. Now, if everybody didn't get the space call the other day from Adam Aron, at the end of the space call, Adam Aron came out and said exactly what I've been saying for over a year, which is if you direct register your AMC shares, they cannot be lent. They cannot be short sold. That is a fact. Anybody saying anything otherwise is a liar and is trying to disrupt this movement. And me and mine are done with it, man. If you don't understand DRS and you're questioning it, you should be. If you don't understand something, you should always question it. But there's enough information out there for people to understand and do what it is. My number one statement today is if you're unsure about DRS, then go to the ComputerShare website, www.computershare.com. And before you transfer any of your shares, go to the front of the website and click Make a Stock Purchase. You can make a stock purchase of 5 AMC shares for the cost of whatever it is at the market currently without disrupting your entire portfolio very simply by doing that. All you do is go there, click Make a Stock Purchase, search AMC. It's all self-explanatory. It takes you through step by step, tells you the minimum investment amounts, and then it shows what it's going to cost you to do it below, which is just like a little commission, kind of like how the old trading platforms do. And when you go to it, you can click one-time investment. You got to make a minimum purchase of at least 25. You click next, and then it's going to ask you to put all your account information in so they can set up your account. You will not set your account up before you make your first stock purchase if you haven't transferred your shares from your broker. So this is a way to do it without you putting too much skin in the game and familiarizing yourself with the ComputerShare platform and owning 5 shares direct registered so you can get those cool little letters in the email and feel special like I do. Anyways, if anybody has any questions, please come up. I'm here today literally to answer questions. Very basically, too, I'll tell you what, I'll play the clip from Adam Aron because there's already people out there trying to say that's not what he said, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, nice, Spence.
What's up, Richard?
What's up, man? Yes. Well, I just talked to Fidelity, correct? I have a Roth IRA and also have a broker lynch account. My only problem is the majority of my shares are in the broker link, which is attached to my 401k. They say that those are not available to transfer because
that is true.
It's part of my 401k, and there's the agreement between companies. So I think I'm gonna just do whatever I have in my other Roth IRA. So I do not have to open an account before I do this, because they say they will handle it themselves, supposedly.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what. And the price. My other question is the price, because I bought pretty high in that account. The price is still the same, and also the loss and all the information will keep the same.
Yes, you'll keep your tax lots and you'll keep your same cost average.
Okay, cool. And the transfer money from my bank to buy more to it is like wire transfer. They clear for that, or just okay. It's the same thing.
You can do wire or you can do ACH.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, so as soon as I get home, because I'm on the road now, I'll actually proceed with this process, and let's go.
Awesome, man. Thanks for bringing up the IRA thing too, because you cannot, as of right now, you cannot direct register any shares in your IRA, but ComputerShare is trying to work out a process to do it. So like Richard just said, if he can't transfer those shares, the best thing to do is to just go buy your new shares directly from ComputerShare. When you buy a share from ComputerShare directly, they go out into the market and pull one away from the DTCC, meaning you're effectively possibly closing someone's synthetic share that they sold to a broker like Robinhood or Webull or something like that. And it's an easy way and a cheaper way than transferring your entire position to familiarize yourself with the ComputerShare platform. So very good. Thanks, Ricardo. Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. What's up?
What's going on, big guy?
Oh, just chilling. Coffee time.
Yeah, same here. Got a question. Is there any way to find out if... One second. Can I get a large French vanilla, please? Thank you. What do you call it? Is there any way to find out if Adam Aron DRS'd any of his shares?
He does. He has shares, unvested shares that are registered with ComputerShare.
What does that mean, unvested?
So well, not unvested. Maybe it's vested. Either way, shares that he has that he physically owns, a lot of executives have to put them in ComputerShare because they are the transfer agent that maintains shares for the platform. Do you remember when Adam Aron said that 4 of his brokers actually did the right thing with the ape?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yep. ComputerShare is one of them. Like a lot of companies, everybody's worried about ComputerShare like it's some kind of like back alley thing because we've never really heard a lot about it. But truthfully, a lot of companies use ComputerShare, including Tesla. And the biggest thing about that is ComputerShare, and another FUD was ComputerShare is owned by Citadel. That is completely incorrect. ComputerShare facilitates multiple companies across the platform, including Citadel, right? Citadel pays them for their service. That's how ComputerShare makes their money, is their services. They're not actually a broker. They have a broker. They had a broker, which they disbanded. What they do is they take your order and they go out into the open market across multiple different brokers and place it where the best value is. Then when they get that trade, they request the shares be pulled from the DTCC.
Okay, so my other question is, so I'm just going to make like round numbers so it's easier to do some math. Let's say the AMC float is 500 million shares. Let's pretend that there are 2 billion shares of AMC out there. So there's 1.5 billion fake, synthetic, whatever you want to call them, shares. Let's say, because, apes own the float. We all know this. So let's say all of the apes in this call right now own all the float. And all of us right here, right now, give all of our shares to DRS. So the entire float is now locked into DRS, but there's still a whole bunch of fake shares out there. Can't they just use those fake shares to continue shorting? Like,
So if
does that
we
make
have
sense,
proof,
what I just said?
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
If we have proof, which is us registering our shares, that's a reconciled share count.
Oh,
When Adam
I
Aron
see.
has,
So the whole, okay,
Yep.
I get it. I get it.
here's what'll happen. Adam Aron said in the last earnings call before this one, we don't have any, this was during the annual, we don't have any reliable evidence of so-called naked shorting. If we log the float and there's 1 billion shares out there left over, which from every poll we ran, and now the DRS data that we have on the 10Q shows that there's at least 2.5 billion synthetics out there. So if we log the entire float on DRS, that is rock solid evidence and proof that the stock is being sold. Illegal shares are being sold and naked shorted, meaning Adam Aron can claim no faith in share management from the DTCC and recall all the legal AMC shares, forcing shorts to close their positions.
Okay, so one last thing before I go. My entire stigma against DRS was, and again, I'm not very well educated in the topic, I never really looked into it, was if I DRS a share, let's say I DRS 1,000 shares, and the squeeze starts the day after. What I have learned, and I could be completely wrong, what I learned was like I have to write some sort of a letter to the DRS people and be like, hey guys, can I sell my shares? And then by the time they go, yeah, okay, cool, the squeeze could be over. Like, is
that is incorrect?
Okay, and what about the one thing where a while ago, and again, I don't know if this was like FUD or whatever, I just glanced it on Twitter and kept scrolling. Was it the computer share people or the DRS people that said, let's say it's school, and again, nobody get mad at me, I'm just making up numbers here. Let's say it squoves to $1,000 a share. Wasn't it the DRS people that said we're only going to give you $500 a share? Like, didn't they put like some sort of a cap on it?
No.
Okay.
Here to the first question.
Yes.
When you sell,
Yes.
and I did this, I went out a couple weeks ago
Yes.
and sold $2,900 of AMC shares from DRS and posted the transaction.
Oh, did you?
And took a lot of heat, of course.
Oh, I didn't know
right?
that.
Yep.
How long did it take you to sell all of it?
It was instantaneous.
Holy shit.
I clicked you go and log into your account, you click sell shares at the market, or you can set a limit order.
Okay.
And I clicked it and they processed the trade. And a day later, the cash was in my bank account.
Cool.
A day later in the morning,
That's neat.
it wasn't even 12 hours. My cash was in my checking account at the sale price when I clicked the button.
Huh. Yeah, I like to learn shit. I like to hear both sides of this. I like to have a leg on each side of the fence because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make bank here. So I need to be
absolutely
as educated as I can be. Always a pleasure, dude. I got to get going. Y'all have a good day.
Your second question.
Oh, sorry,
you can
yes.
go ahead and go. I'll answer your second question.
No. I'll wait.
So what ComputerShare did was they set a limit on your limit sell orders to $3,500 per share, right? That is still 1,000 times more than any brokerage will allow. Most brokerages won't let you to go over 50% of the current market price. You can go into ComputerShare and set a limit sell order for $3,500 a share.
I misunderstood what I read then. I know exactly what you mean because I've tried. I go AMC limit sell order 10,000 a share, and they go no, and I'm like, fuck you guys, right? Okay,
that's because it causes a liquidity crunch because ComputerShare is cash only accounts. There's no margin, so they can. Another FUD is, what if ComputerShare goes insolvent? ComputerShare is cash accounts only, and they're only holding your shares off the market. They make their money by selling services to companies for their transfer agent services and other services they provide. They're not going to go insolvent if the market crashes. Robinhood, Webull, Moomoo, and even Fidelity can go insolvent if the market crashes. but computer share cannot.
Got it. Thank you. You guys have a good day. I'm gonna get going.
Right on, man.
Cheers.
Hey, Spence. Good morning, man. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. You know, just out here trying to bust bud and do all that.
Spence, I really give you a lot of props for what you are doing and trying to help people. And you don't have to do this because you can just make your money and do what you are doing and leave people on their own. But there are a lot of these, a lot of grifters, YouTubers, Ape Radio, all those people, they don't want this thing to go anywhere. Like when you hear in their call, like they don't want squeeze to happen because that's not good for the company.
Hey, here's my question to you, Sugar. Who is the one? Who is he?
Exactly.
Has anybody seen his face, or does anybody know who he is? The dude's from New York and sounds like a hedge fund manager, and nobody knows who he is, but they want to follow him and listen to his anti-DRS FUD. It makes no sense.
Yep, that's the thing. Like you don't have to, like, you take so much heat from all these people trying to help them and all. You don't have to. I have a lot of respect for you for what you do, but you don't have to. Just let if these people don't want to do it, you can try for a few more days. But Spence, I'll tell you, you have done enough. You don't owe anybody anything. Let people be them, man.
Dude.
If these people want to be here for a few more years, want to listen to Ape Radio and all those other people, then let them be them. Let them be.
If you don't like me, don't like me, but go DRS your damn shares. I don't care if you don't like me, man. But we're here to make a statement and fix this market. And Adam Aron just told everyone that if you direct register your shares, they cannot be short sold. Bottom line, end of story. If you don't like me for personal reasons, okay, no hard feelings, but go DRS your freaking shares, man. I mean, it's just stupid at this point. We've done everything every YouTuber has told us. Executive Order 14032, Phase 6, buy puts to hedge your position. Oh, we're going to do this, do that. But every time the group that I usually swing with comes up with an idea like the STO or the NFT sale, these big YouTubers come out and try to shut us down and cancel us, because if we DRS our shares and this squeezes, then the grift is over. Nobody's going to be making money off of AMC except the shareholders for once.
There you go. Exactly. That's the thing. These people don't want this thing to go anywhere. They want people to be here 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever long, so they can make money. They can keep grifting, and maybe the stock will go to 30, 40, whatever dollars, and because they will keep doing what they've been doing for 18 months. Nothing's gonna stop them. Nothing will. But DRS, and look, even Adam said that, but these people are making excuses and trying to spread all the bullshit. Look, he said you can do it or you can't do it. The GME people, they're not stupid. They've done 56% of their the float almost DRS, and maybe another 4, 5, 6 months, they might be able to log the whole float. And once the whole float is logged on DRS, it's over, man.
Here's the thing. The goal is to log the float. Absolutely. If GME logs their float, everything squeezes. If AMC logs their float, everything squeezes. But in the meantime, every single share that is DRS'd is one share that cannot be short sold. Every single share we DRS is one share that can't be short sold. And you are effectively taking one phantom share off the market and potentially 3 hypothecated naked shorts, rehypothecated naked shorts. This will cause a massive liquidity crunch on brokers like Robinhood and Webull, which could cause margin calls. DRSing whatever you can from this point forward is the most important thing you can do. And if you don't want to transfer all your shares from your broker, say Webull's giving you a lot of trouble and they're just being buttholes and they don't want you to transfer your shares, then just go start buying new shares from Computer Share. We're at all-time lows. It is a perfect time to buy shares directly from ComputerShare. You could not ask for a better time.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know much. I'm not as smart as with all this like you are. But I'll tell you, with all the DRS you're pushing, and like Adam said, in next 2 or 3 months you will see the price reflection, because there will be quite a people, those who understand this, they will DRS, and you will see the price movement, like when you, because these people, when they see that so many people are taking those shares away from the brokers and putting in their names, you will see the price. And but I don't know how many of these people will really listen to I don't know, man. I just give a lot of credit to you, but you don't have to, man. Let these people be them, and let them sit there for 2-3 years, man. Just let them be.
Here's what's going to happen. This new push for DRS, based on what Adam Aron said, is going to cause a surprise amount of new stocks to be direct registered, forcing some brokers to close those naked shorts that they've loaned out to hedge funds. So we're going to see off the back of this, with people DRSing, which they are now, we're going to see another 10-20% price movement in the coming months until the brokerages and the market makers get it back under control. When me and Froggy started pushing this back in May.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
You're getting shorter, bro. You got to stop talking about DRS, man.
You're getting shorted, sugar. You there? Okay, I'll drop him, bring it back up.
They're shorting you.
Anyways, when me and Froggy and Swing 2 and Stacks, man, I see them all down there, started pushing this back last May, a lot of people started DRSing their shares. And from May all the way up through, I think, like July, we saw price movement on AMC stock to the upside from $9, I think, all the way up to when it wasn't Gabe Plotkin. This was after Plotkin went out of business. AMC ran to 31. So somebody covered some shorts, maybe on the IWM. It crashed to $9. We started pushing DRS, and we rode all the way back to 17, I believe, from $9. And that was on the back of people DRSing shares. And then it fell off again. People stopped DRSing shares. We didn't have any new movement, and the stock price collapsed. So DRSing shares is the single most important thing that can be done in this movement right now. And it's sad that we've had to wait so long to get to this point. But again, all you have to do, if you don't want to transfer your shares because your broker's being horrible, is just go start buying your new lots directly from ComputerShare. And that's going to allow you to familiarize yourself with the platform so that you can break all the FUD in your mind yourself.
Well, if keep doing what you're doing, man. This is what you really, I know you want to help people. You hate to see what people are going through, and you hate to see how much this community could really do. Like that guy JD was saying, like, this is it. If this movement fails, there'll be nobody ever able to stand up to these crooks. But then again, they have planted these people like the one and all these people, those who wanna keep it to them, that they don't want this. Any idea you came, it's not just DRS, any idea you came out with, these people were the first ones to always oppose those ideas. There's a reason for that, and that.
You know why?
Yep.
Because the ideas that we come up with in our space calls would work.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I hate to be the conspiracy theorist and say some of these guys are actually fund managers or something, but they put an awful lot of effort in every day to sit and FUD out DRS nonstop, when literally the entire GameStop community is on board with DRS. Dave Lauer is on board with DRS. Adam Aron is on board with DRS. Your CEO told you, and the only reason I'm here today is because he said that at the end of the earnings call. If he wouldn't have said that, I probably wouldn't even be hosting space calls anymore. That was a 100% shot and statement to us saying to go DRS your shares. The fact that he even mentioned it blew my mind, because they're not supposed to talk about DRS. But he worded it in a way that was from an investor question. And I'm curious if an investor even asked that question or they just fabricated it so he could talk about it. But whoever did ask that question, wherever you are, if it was a real person, thank you. That was awesome.
You know, the sad part is there are people like one who doesn't have a real face, doesn't have a real name, don't have nothing real, but he's telling people who to listen and how to live their life. That's really sad for me, because this is just crazy, man. You are taking advice of somebody 50, 60-year-old guys, those who have no idea in nothing in finance. They sit on a space call for 10 to 14 hours a day. Just imagine what their goal is. If somebody is putting 10 to 14 hours a day on a space call, they gotta be getting paid from somebody, man, because I don't have that much time, Spence. I'm too busy working and making my livelihood better.
And I'm lucky enough to be able to do this because I have my military money coming in from being a veteran. But I also, like, people don't get it, man. I put out NCMI a few weeks back. It ran 46% the other day.
Yep.
I don't charge for super chats and what do you call it? Discord fees and shit like that. Everything I do is for free. And then I give any revenue money I get away on YouTube, I give it away in gift cards because I make money on my trades. Anybody who says they make all this money on their trades and is charging this insane amount for Discords and shit for AMC, if they're doing other stocks and they're doing big market stuff, I get it, whatever. But if you're charging all this money because you're making it off the AMC community, that's crap, man. That's called you're extorting the community.
Yeah. Look how much money we made on rum. I made almost $4,800. Made Elo made. Look, we made money on Revlon. I mean, we made money,
dude. But we called Revlon again in Froggy Styles space calls. We called Revlon at $1.70. It ran to $9.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the only time, and this is the truth. I'll be honest with you guys. When I'm losing money, it's because I take my gains from my other plays and put it back into AMC and Ape. And then the stock just tanks. And then all the FUD comes out about DRS. And it's so frustrating that we could be making all this money and we could have logged the float freaking twice already in the past 2 years. And now that Adam Aron says this now, and you can see the space calls are not as big as they used to be. We've got to rebuild the community and get everybody back on point. But you got guys like Casey Shaw and Ape Radio just putting straight lies out. And I'll tell you right now, the stuff they're saying about ComputerShare, I wouldn't be surprised if ComputerShare eventually came out and sued them for misleading people. What they are saying about ComputerShare and direct registration is false, and it's in a way, it's misleading people to not use their platform, which if you're making false statements about a company, that's like going into McDonald's and saying, oh, yeah, McDonald's burgers are made out of rat turds. You can get sued for that.
Yeah, but last night he was flip-flopping that he never said that. And you and me both know like how much these people were against him.
You know what? If they're going to flip over to the DRS side, if they're now going to be pro DRS, I don't care. Like I said, man, anybody who's had a problem with me or I've had a problem with, I've unblocked almost everybody. I don't care no more. Bygones be bygones. If you were wrong, you're wrong. If I was wrong, I was wrong. But we now know the AMC CEO said that if you DRS your shares, they cannot be short sold. I don't know what else anybody needs to hear other than that.
No, good luck, man. I just wish you the best because you have done enough, and you make all your money from YouTube and you give it back to the community. None of these fucks do. Casey Shaw, that Phil for real, all these guys I never even knew these guys before. Now they come in all out of the woodwork against DRS is the reason, because these people are making money and not even giving it back. At least you give all your money you making to the community back. And that's what they don't want, Spence. That's why they don't want you around. Because they want that money for themselves. They want this grift forever.
Look at this. Right now is such a perfect opportunity. The stock is at all-time lows. It looks like our House and our Senate is going to remain split, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. But it does mean that I think energy costs are going to stay pretty high through to mid next year, maybe spring. That means we're not going to see any major market events for the next couple months, meaning AMC and APE are going to stay low through Q4. That means you can buy new shares of AMC direct registered with computer share at all-time lows and have a great opportunity to fix any bags you hold for the next 30 days. Because once Q4 earnings comes out with AMC, AMC is going to have record-breaking Q4 earnings, record-smashing Q4 earnings. So is Cinemark, so is NCMI, so is every theater entertainment industry brand. So if you're going to get shares with computer share, right now is the time to do it.
I agree, man. Bull's here, man. I better stop speaking now.
Yeah, Bull's coming in here to get you to stop all your bullshit, man. What up, dude?
Yo, what's up, man? What's up?
Just sitting
man.
Here, you know.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say thank you, man. You've done a lot for the community, and you've also done a lot for me. You're not a bad dude. You don't push out FUD. You know what I mean? You give straight facts. And I just want everybody to understand, man, that, you know, these other characters out there, you know what I mean, they have an agenda. I don't know what their agenda is. I don't know why they're attacking, you know, you, Tara, and, you know, everybody else, Sugar, and all, you know, all y'all people got good hearts, man. And y'all want the community to win. So I just say, just keep doing what you're doing, man. And you know what I always tell you, you can't save everybody, man. Just do what you can and make your money and keep it moving, man. That's it, man, because this DRS thing is just crazy. It just blows my mind. I think it's common sense. You know what I mean? For me, I think it's just common sense. I mean, if you got a whole other fucking community doing this shit, I mean, why wouldn't you take a look into it and figure out what the fuck is going on? And if you don't understand it, you know what I mean? You buy a share and fucking sell it and see for yourself. Don't make it too complicated. You know what I mean? I think I just seen what's his name? Phil For Real? I don't even know that guy. Phil For Real. He said something about you, man, and I guess he's anti-DRS. So I mean, he's not feeling the.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a tuber. I came across his video, man, and I just happened to listen to it, and I'm like, this guy is out of pocket, and what he's trying to do to his followers and stuff like that. I just hope everybody.
What's there to be anti-DRS about? The CEO of our company just said, you know.
I don't. Hey, people still fucked up about it, man. I don't understand why.
Crazy. Well, it ruins the grift. You can't grift on YouTube. You can't come out with all these random catalysts like Phase 6 and 14032 and what was Lou's catalyst? You know what I hate to say? Lou was more right than most of the YouTubers everybody was following. Because when Lou said he thinks people should stop buying shares on the open market, he was right.
He was absolutely correct.
He said it
that
the
shit
wrong
last
way.
year.
He didn't explain it properly, and I'm going to explain it right now. Any shares you buy from a brokerage on the open market are non-verified shares, meaning you might not actually own a legal share until you direct register them. If everybody started buying shares directly through computer share, every share you buy, computer share pulls away from the market, out of the DTCC's name, and direct registers it on book with AMC. If you buy a share with Fidelity, there is no guarantee that share is real. It doesn't matter what broker it is. There's no guarantee that share is real, and there's no guarantee you're going to get your proxy when it's time to vote because those shares are still in street name. You want to put your shares in direct registered book name with computer share because you are guaranteed your proxy vote. You're guaranteed to get all your dividends on the day of issuance, and you're guaranteed your shares can't be loaned or shorted. So
yeah, you guaranteed that you make sure you can. I sound like Jen. Look, I just want to give a shout out real quick to where Froggy Styles go at, man. It's good to see him in the space calls again, man. I see Swing down there. I mean, that's my boy Swing. Froggy Styles need to get back to it, man. Good to see him back.
Froggy, Swings, and Stacks down there have all been big players with educating DRS. And I'll tell you, man, there's people that owe Froggy Styles a big apology. Big apology. A lot of YouTubers that went after him when we started talking about DRS. Not only did they knowingly mislead investors with their wrong information and their FUD, they have slandered ComputerShare on video. And I wouldn't be surprised if now they started deleting some of their content, which if they were wrong and they admit it and they say, hey, let's move forward and rebuild this community and everybody aim at the same target, I'll sing Kumbaya with everybody. I don't care if you hate me. If our goals align, which is making this money, we are owed. This retail community is owed a payout. We should have squeezed 4 times already. So now AMC is safe and stable. That's why Adam Aron came out and said that. He knows AMC is not going to go bankrupt anymore. Now it's time for us to get ours. But everybody has to put the effort in to do what needs to be done, which is direct registration of your shares. That is an independent responsibility on you as an investor. Now, the biggest FUD out there I'm hearing is still this. Well, what if it squeezes and it takes 2 days to sell? It does not take 2 days to sell. I went out, I sold shares a couple weeks ago, posted my transaction with timestamps. I got the price that I sold at the market at the time of the sale. My cash was back in my checking account a day later, not even 12 hours later. If you are more worried about selling shares before the squeeze even happens, you're thinking incredibly backwards. When this squeeze starts, it's not going to be this like instantaneous squeeze to $1,000 and then it goes back to zero. This is going to be a run up for months. With ComputerShare, we know on the 10Q now filed by AMC, which is something I requested personally, that AMC starts putting the ComputerShare data on every earnings call. I wrote that to John Merriweather. We have over 10 million investors that 10 million shares logged by 13,000 investors, something like that. I'll pull the 10Q up here in a minute. But it came out to
15,000.
Okay, 15,000.
Yeah.
Thank you. It came out to an average of around 650 shares per direct registered person. That aligns with the poll data that we came up with for months. That also aligns with User of Intellect's Log the Float plan that he did for the past year. User of Intellect had a lot of people submit proof that they own shares and how many, and they came out with about 750 shares average per person. Now, when everyone starts DRSing their shares and say we get up to, let's say we get up to 100 million shares DRSed, and it's with 70,000 people, we're going to see the average shares per person go up consistently until the float's logged. We don't have to log it all at once. Over the next 12 months, you DRS transfer whatever you're willing to do, but then you buy all your new shares from ComputerShare, and by the end of the year, the float's logged. Then Adam Aron can go out and recall shares, claim no faith with the DTCC, and the billions of shares that are naked short out in the open market have to be forced closed. That's it. This is old Reddit DD. I'm not the one who came up with this. This is old Reddit DD. I'm talking like 17, 18 months ago.
Spence,
Go, sure.
if you really want to do this DRS, then Froggy, you, Stacks, and Swing, you guys are the best one. If you look, they wanted Froggy gone because he was talking about DRS, and me and Froggy, we all know why they were going after Froggy so bad. But he left, because he was just tired of all the bullshit. But if you really want to help people, you, Stacks, Swing, and Froggy, you guys can really help people out. If you really, I will, I'll tell you, man, you have done enough. Just, you don't have to do this as with the Stacks is educate people, but a lot of these fucks will don't want this, and they will come after you guys hard. So just you do what you guys want to do, but it's just sad, man. It's a lost cause. A lot of these people are just here for likes and followers, and who retweets this shit. A lot of these people forgot how whether they were here for money, and now it's like even in the calls they talk like we are not here for squeeze. We don't want squeeze because that's not good for the fundamentals of the company. Like, how dumb you gotta be. Like, if it squeezes, like, how much money you can put back in more the company to make it profitable. It's just stupid, man.
Here's the best thing. There's a website. It's called, and I'm pinning it to the top right now. It's called drsgme.org, right? This website tells you everything you need to know about DRS.
Spence, you cutting off bad, man.
No, it's you, Sugar.
Spence?
Sugar's broke ass phone, man. I'm telling you. Sugar, that's you, man. You're having problems. No, he dropped. So drsgme.org has everything you need to know. The process to DRSGME is the same as AMC. Same process. So if you guys need to know anything about it and you want to read instead of watching one of my videos where I'm all ranting about it and everything, I highly recommend this. I'm going to pin it to the top right now. Please share it out. Also, please share the call out, you guys. I forgot to say that earlier, but Swing's up here, man. He's always got something good to say. What's up, Swing?
Hey, yeah. I mean,
Sorry about that. I was trying to add somebody in it. Disappeared. Go ahead.
No worries. The thing that I go back to is anybody that hasn't read Naked, Short, and Greedy, download it, order it on whatever app you want to get the copy of the book. Dr. Suzanne Trimbath, she actually worked for the DTC. She worked for them for many years. She has worked to set up exchanges in other foreign countries. She knows the plumbing better than pretty much anyone that is in the Twitter sphere that has talked about this. Look her up and find out her story and find out how she buys stock. She only buys stock of companies that she wants to own stock of via DRS. That's the only way that she will do it, because she knows that the brokers may or may not actually have the shares in your account. All of their users say that they own. Just think through that. Do you really trust your organization to do that? Just look at what, I don't know if anybody follows crypto. I'm not a crypto person, but Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and what's going on with Binance and what have you.
Oh man.
Like at the end of the day, what went down there is that FTX doesn't have the money to support everything that supposedly is on their platform, and they're having to get and from what I've seen, Binance called their bluff and started selling their FTX token or whatever it is, and that was supporting the entire company. And at the end of the day, the emperor had no clothes. I pretty much guarantee you every single brokerage why does Goldman Sachs, why does Charles Schwab, why do all these companies make of dollars in and not necessarily buying all the stuff. The only way. It's the same as a bank. It's the same exact process of bank. Everybody knows it's not a shock if every account holder went to whatever bank and asked for their funds from their bank account, they would go insolvent in 24 hours or less. It would take hours because they don't have all the funds in their account. The same thing is true in the stock market. The same thing is true of pretty much everything. They're trusting that not everybody is going to press the sell button on the same day. They're trusting that not everyone's going to, be able to audit. They're not going to be able to audit their accounts, across all the boards. They know that. So the only way to combat it is through the process of DRS, people bring up FUD about, does it really take a week? Yes. Want to know why it really takes a week? Because they have to, wait for the ACH transfer to happen and have that money actually in their account. They're not doing anything on margin. So when you send money from one bank to another, it takes 2 to 3 days to clear. That's just a fact of the banking system. Okay. And then they need to buy the asset. And when they do that, that has a T+2 window as well. And so once for that to happen, then they send you your paperwork. And that takes a couple days for stuff to get sent via the mail. So everything takes time because it's actually done the right way. It's not done like Robinhood, where you open an account, you wire transfer money, and then the second that you send them money, they allow you to buy shares, even though they don't even have your money yet. Think about that. Why would they do that? Because they know that the odds are in their favor that most retail loses money in buying stock. So on the aggregate, they're able to bet against you, and they know that you're not going to trade in well enough to make enough money so that they're able to bet against you and win on the aggregate. It's a big giant insurance game. So, if you want to solve that, any companies, I don't care what company it is, if it's GME, AMC, Disney, whatever company that you actually believe in, if you want to actually own a share of the company, the only way to do that is through the direct registration system. Everything else is fugazi. End of story.
100%. And that's, the video I made a couple weeks ago it got the most views I've ever gotten in a video, was all about how the market makers are selling phantom shares to the brokers endlessly, which is causing us to buy ourselves into dilution. All anybody ever, the trigger ear, the baby ear people in the community, all they heard me say was, we should stop buying shares on the open market. And all they heard is stop buying. And they blew me up. The truth is, I said, if you're going to buy new shares, buy them directly through ComputerShare of AMC. You can't buy Ape through ComputerShare, but you can direct register it. If people stop buying fake shares from the open market, the dilution on the stock will stop on the stock price. Now, let me explain that. When a market maker sells endless phantom shares to the brokers, to you, that means there is an endless supply and a limited demand, meaning the price will always go down. But if we start DRSing our shares and buying shares directly from ComputerShare, then we are cleaning up the supply by pulling shares off the market and making them legal. We're reducing the supply by erasing synthetics. And every share that you DRS, you for sure are taking away one phantom share off the market, but you could also effectively, too, be closing at least one naked short. That's how you fix supply and demand, and we have price discovery. And what happens when we have price discovery? Shorts get pinched, margin calls hit, and we squeeze. I'm not even sure we need to DRS the whole flow. I think when we get to at least 50%, AMC is going to squeeze. I firmly believe that, because it's going to be a shock and surprise to the market that we've DRS'd that many shares. Now, GME, they've been DRSing the whole time and have been very public about it. And I am 100% sure that the only reason GME is above $25 is because they DRS 50% of their float. GME's at $25, AMC's at less than $7. So tell me that DRS doesn't work.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh, what's up, man? I'm just, man, it's so much to say. I'm all on you guys' side about this. I've been in this place since the beginning. I've technically had more GME than AMC, but I ended up just sitting on everything. And in the GME, Reddit and all that, they were talking about the DRSing and the benefits. And I'm like, man, this just makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to fall for this nonsense. And so I DRSed immediately. I put everything in there. I mean, now I have it diversified because I started out on Webull and Robinhood and all that, and I'm like, oh, fuck all this. So I ended up taking like all of that on Robinhood. I have a few in Webull just because I just want them all scattered all over the place, and I have a few in Fidelity, but for the most part, they're all accounted for in DRS. I'm sorry, I'm parking the car. Yeah, it's crazy how these groups are getting the way they are, because in the beginning, well, in general, okay, so example, like all this deciphering Adam Aron's tweets and all that, and it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but this dude literally just said, DRS your shit. Like, hey, I'm not telling you not to, I'm not telling you to, but he's literally saying it. He wouldn't mention DRS if he didn't care so much about it. He would have just left that question alone. So I'm like, yo, why are y'all ignoring this shit? It's ridiculous at this point. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Like, I don't understand this, man. It's crazy. And I just been sitting here reading all this, and Spence is sad, man. You've been getting attacked left and right. Anybody who mentions DRS on Reddit, on Twitter, it's always it's the opposite. They always attack it. They don't want to deep dive into it. And I'm like, dog, if you guys just, okay, you're bragging that you're buying shares every day. How about you fucking make an account with ComputerShare, just buy a little bit in there and fucking leave it in there. If so many people have the float of AMC, if so many people, like, if just, some amount of people, if everybody just put in a good amount, like 150 or something, you ain't got to put that much in there since so many people have AMC or claim to have AMC. They keep buying all these shares. Why don't you fucking buy them your name and just leave them there? If you do that, then, we'll see some shit. Because like you keep saying, GME, yes, it's looking like it is not looking as bad as AMC. AMC is it's depressing looking at it. I mean, I have both. I don't really care. I mean, I have A2, of course, but it's just looking at it. It's just sad. But GME is looking like it's pretty strong, and it has not really gone anywhere. Whereas AMC, you guys are right. It's just been tanking and tanking and tanking. Everyone's complaining, but nobody wants to DRS, and you keep saying it's never been done before. Why don't we fucking do it and stop saying it's never been done before? These people, I don't understand. Like, they can decipher the craziest shit and have chess pieces and all that stuff. This dude literally just said DRS, and now you guys are like, no. I'm like, damn, you guys, you hear what you want to hear.
Here's the real deal on this. Here's what let's say I threw my chicken bones out, and the chicken bones are telling me something. Adam Aron created Ape. Ape should have squeezed. They found a way around it. He realized that his backup plan has always been ComputerShare. Now we have two floats out there that are overshorted. Ape has to be at least 80 to 90% shorted and not reported, because you can't go from a solid $5 down to $1.40 when he hasn't diluted anything but 13 million shares. So we're shorted and they're not reporting it. So now if we DRS AMC and DRS Ape, we have two squeezes. Two. They're screwed if people start DRSing.
Yeah, it's funny because these guys, this is such a simple one too. Like, when Adam Aron mentioned dilution, everybody went ape shit. No. And all of a sudden everyone's like, you know what? Dilution's good. Now he's been saying DRS. People are still, no. I'm like, okay, you guys want this guy to run the company or not? He's telling you what to fucking do. Just fucking DRS. Like, he just said it. First you said no dilution, and then you're saying it's the dilution. Now he's saying DRS, and you're saying under DRS. Like, what the fuck, guys? Come on.
He's not diluting because he knows the stock price has been put down in the dirt, and people are not coming to him with offers like he thought they would. So he's saying, go DRS your shares now. Here's the beauty of it. If we DRS Ape, there are no shares of Ape being sold into the open market except by Adam Aron through Citigroup.
And then he'd be like, look at this shit.
The open market is fake.
Exactly. And then he'll be like, you see this, guys? You see what I'm talking about? Look, the float's locked up. What the fuck is going on in the market? This isn't us. I don't know why this is so hard for them to grasp. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not a smooth or all that crazy shit. I just been listening to Space Calls for fucking months, almost 2 years now. Just been listening, reading, and I'm like, dude, DRS. It's that simple. Like, we have not done this shit. Just try it. Like, we've done all that shit you guys keep talking about. Let's try this. Shut up and try it and just see what happens. I gotta go and go pick up God of War, but you guys are great. And Spence, just keep doing your thing, man. I'm still here. I'm just gonna step down. You guys are great. I'm a little busy and go pick up this game and gonna do some errands. But I'm still here, guys. You guys are
Right
great.
on,
Just
man.
continue to do what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, this is the deal. AMC, they can create endlessly out in the open market. We already know that because they've already set that process up. But Ape cannot be sold through anyone. New shares of Ape cannot be sold through anybody but City Global, approved by Adam Aron, and then released from ComputerShare. So if we start logging Ape across the board, you transfer AMC and Ape into ComputerShare, Ape is going to be the first stock to run. Ape's going to run, crush the shorts that are misreporting their short positions that brought us down to $1.40, and then AMC is going to run on the backside of that hard. This is it. I mean, the problem is all these YouTubers who made all this money off the community were worried about selling TA. They were worried about selling these Wyckoff snipers and all the stuff they were doing, and T-shirts and mugs and 14032 and hyping everybody up on Hopium. The simplicity works. Simplicity always works. ComputerShare is the most simple, easiest thing to do in this entire play. And all you're doing is you're pulling your shares away from the market who is mistreating them, who is corrupting them. You're pulling them away and you're giving them essentially back to Adam Aron in your name. That's basically what you're doing. And then every earnings call, your shares are protected on book registration and he sees your name on it. Every earnings call. Swing, what's up, man?
Yeah, I was along the lines of what you're saying about Ape. You know, given that we know that what was said, 13, 14 million shares of Ape were sold up to this point, in addition to the ones given out. Was that what the number was?
Yeah, it was like 13 million. I didn't bring the filing up, but 13 million at like $2.80 or something.
Okay, so based off of the size of the float, that means it would only take us $742 million to lock up all of Ape, 100% of Ape. That's it at the current price. That's all it would take. And in the grand scheme of things, given the size of the community, then that's really not that much money. And I realize that it's a little bit extra steps because we can't buy directly through ComputerShare. But if that's what the community focused on because of its price being so cheap, if we locked up all of Ape, it would screw the shorts and everybody that was short the stock, because it would be impossible for them to fully close short positions, especially old short positions that happened before the split where they are short both AMC and Ape. That would buoy up the price of Ape, and it would help that. Would there be potentially more dilution after the fact because Ape might squeeze and that would get to a price point where Adam might feel good about letting more go? Yes, like that is a very real possibility, but that also is the bank account for AMC. That is the way that AMC will be able to continue to be, they have that treasury of stock that can help them get to the point of profitability once the, as Adam said in the call, like they need Hollywood to start putting out more movies. The number of movies, it's actually, if you think about it, really when you get down to it, how much money the movie industry has been making with the soft number of movies getting released is actually pretty freaking amazing. Like they're at about a third of the number of titles in a given month compared to pre-pandemic.
The fact that we had a Q3 that we did on soft movie titles was huge.
Yeah. And even Q4 with the big titles that are coming up, and I do think it's going to be a pretty good one. It's still going to be on soft number of titles. There's not, Hollywood did not put together, and part of it was because of regulations and how strict California was during COVID. And I don't want to get into politics of that, but the fact of the matter is Hollywood was unable to produce movies very well during the COVID times, and it takes a couple years to go from production to release. So once now that we've moved past that and they're able to put together movies, I think that's going to be overall really good for the industry, and it's showing how strong overall the movie demand for movies are. The fact that there's a third of the number of movies, but yet revenues are as strong as they are, that's actually really, really good. And so all that needs to happen is Hollywood to release the same number of titles, and all of a sudden, AMC and all the movie theaters are going to make more money than they did pre-pandemic.
We already have $100 million from Black Adam into Q4. Just from Black Adam. And we have Wakanda Forever coming out this weekend, right? And then Avatar 2 comes out before Q4 ends. That's 3 major titles with all the soft movies in between in theaters this quarter, which is going to be huge. And I thought Sean Goodman said Q4 is likely to return us back to positive cash flow operations. I'm pretty sure he said that in the earnings call. So if we do a massive DRS push through Q4, we're not only going to shock, surprise short sellers on ape. Like DRSing your ape is so important. We're going to shock, surprise short sellers by taking our shares off the market, giving them less shares to manipulate and high frequency trade. We're going to be closing out synthetics and the price is going to go up. That's going to pinch them. And the market just took an absolute dump. Their longs are in the dirt. Their longs are in the dirt. We've never been closer to potential margin calls. Right now is like the best time for everybody to go log their ape, to go direct register their ape. And if you can't buy new ape from ComputerShare because of the way AMC set it up. I'll explain why. Adam Aron didn't want market makers buying ape from ComputerShare at $1.50. The only way to buy new ape is through City Global, approved by Adam Aron. So if we register a crap ton of ape, through Q4, it is going to shock, surprise the
from having your shares in your brokerage and I'm not advocating to do that, because especially if you don't know what you're doing, definitely don't do covered calls and that type of stuff. But that's the only reason not to. And that's probably, to be honest, why a lot of the YouTubers were saying like that they were going to do what they're going to do as far as selling their ape, and because they're probably doing covered calls every, and that's what they wanted to focus all of their money on, is to be able to keep on doing that for monthly income. And you know what, teach their own on that. Like you do you in that regard.
Here's to set everybody's minds at ease about ComputerShare. Here's something very important to read. ComputerShare is the chosen transfer agent of over a third of the U.S. stock market. A third. Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, and Overstocked. They all use ComputerShare. AMC is using computer share. Adam Aron just told everybody in the earnings call, if you direct register your shares, they can't be shorted. We know ape is a fixed amount. The only ape that can be sold into the market has to be approved by Adam Aron going forward. So if we start logging ape, that's pulling shares off the market, fixing the supply, causing a short pinch on the shorts who are definitely misreporting their short interest on ape. And it's going to shock them. It's going to shock the entire market. And this is probably why Jim Chanos decided to go long on ape, because he knew what was coming. So I don't know, you guys. I'm just saying, everybody wanted to follow all these YouTubers for so long and all these hopium. Not saying that these events and these catalysts weren't important, but here we are today at all-time lows, and we're talking about exactly what Adam Aron said from his own mouth. So anybody in the community who is not on board with this, first, I would question why. And if it's because you're not sure or uneducated, I understand. But if you know what Adam Aron said and you're out there still pressing anti-DRS FUD, I don't know, man. That's pretty sus.
Hey, quick question. So I travel for work, and question is, can you do computer share on your phone, or is it strictly on a computer?
You can use your phone, but it's not an app. It's a web page. So it is a little hard to navigate on your phone, but it is doable.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. And of course, different platforms like Google or Apple Explorer, whatever Apple calls their thing, each platform's different. So you just got to pick the one that fits you the best. So I'm telling you guys, this DRSGME.org is a phenomenal website, and kudos to the GME crowd for putting this together. You can literally go there. It says registered shares from a broker, learn how to directly register GameStop shares, which is the same as AMC. Click register now. And then it lets you choose your broker. And I'm doing it live right now, Fidelity. And it gives you DRS instructions for your broker specifically. You can't get any better than this. This is amazing. How to register shares, register from a broker, pick your broker, and then they have the instructions for each broker right on there for you. There is no excuse not to understand how this works with this website. This is incredible that the GME crowd put this together. If they had a donate button, I would donate to this website they've built right now. This is incredible. I wish I would have known about this months ago. It even tells you how to buy directly. They actually have a donate button.
They got kicked out of Super Stonks for taking donations.
Wow, this website is incredible. So Super Stonks also, he did a really good video on YouTube. It's called Super Stonks AMA or Computer Share AMA with Paul Kahn. Paul Kahn is like the global VP of marketing or something for Computer Share. They went over all of this stuff over a year ago. It is an incredible video. The GME crowd actually got Computer Share to start changing their platform to be more user-friendly and have more benefits for direct registering of, say, meme stocks. So this is something that is, hey, it's Spence, only fudded. Points? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. Neil Apestrong here, first to the moon. Some experiences and some important things given the events of what happened with FTX yesterday. When your money is, on a centralized exchange, right, there can be insolvency issues overnight. The same goes with your shares. When they're in a broker, if that broker goes bankrupt, your shares they're gone with. You're waiting through bankruptcy court. You're talking about being able to sell in the squeeze. When you're in Computer Share, another thing is that it's taken out of there with the company, not that specific broker. So that's just an important piece of thing to, when you're trying to understand how many shares do I want to put in Computer Share, do I want to do them all? Do you want to do IRA? through LLCs. There's different things you can do, but to Spence's point, when it comes to GameStop and AMC, what we've done with ComputerShare, they went from having a client base of, like Spence said, about a third of the institutional and the publicly traded companies, but they didn't communicate much with them. They just transferred their shares. It wasn't much. 150,000 new accounts for GameStop. People not know what the hell we're doing and calling them constantly. Like, hey, how do I do this? Why don't you have online access? Why does it take forever to tell me, transactions? A lot has been updated in a year. But at the end of the day, I came from the crypto industry, and if you don't own your keys, you don't own the crypto. And why would I want to own shares but not actually own them? Once we started finding that out, it was like, well, it was an easy decision for me. You can do cool things like gift shares to your to anyone at the to matter. But I give some to my grandpa. So he's 96, about to be 97. We're going to New Orleans for the parade honoring the veterans. So I'll be there trying to do cool things for the apes. But I had to go with them on this trip. But he had registered his name because I gave it to him for his birthday. So you can just gift a share. Share creates the account for him, sends it. So now they have shared name, all the voting rights, those kind of things. Cool things you can do. Don't necessarily just be completely against it. The information is out there for you to research and make the best decision for you. That's what apes do. We're skeptical. We push the line, but you still want to own like what you buy, and that is pretty simple. Now, some brokers are easier than others. Sometimes you have charges. So Fidelity they know what's happening. You can just chat them because so many shares get transferred from Fidelity. If you want to squeeze a broker, everybody all of a sudden put their money in Fidelity, transfer their ape shares there, make them get them, and then immediately DRS them from there. They lose all their shares, and all that money that just went out that they probably loaned would come out, kind of like what happened with FTX. If we just all of a sudden pulled all of our liquidity from Fidelity and put it into ComputerShare and in our own name, they would be in a liquidity crunch at that point and trying to round up real shares of ape. So these are some things to think about. I appreciate you hosting this, Spence, and y'all have a good day. I'm about to get ready to get on this flight to New Orleans, and y'all take care. I'm hop off and listen.
Oh, enjoy your trip, man. So I have questions on YouTube from the UK apes. Can you DRS from the UK? And let's say different parts of Europe and overseas. What I'm reading, and like I said, you guys, drsgme.org. The process to DRS AMC is the same. You can go in here and click how to register your shares, click register from a broker, and you can pull a full list of brokers all over the world. Here's one here, HSBC UK. You can click on it, read DRS instructions. This is what it says. HSBC charges a 55, I think that's pounds, fee for each DRS transfer. This means each time you want to direct register a specific stock, you are charged that amount. Once your shares are settled in HSBC, you can give them a call at this number. The agent will ask you to confirm you want to DRS your shares. Let's do another broker. Let's go to Swedbank. Let's go to Swedbank. The guide applies to Swedbank securities. Swedbank does not direct register shares, so you will need to transfer to a broker that can. International brokers, IBKR, has been a popular choice. So if your broker overseas in wherever you are says that you can't DRS your shares, then you can find a broker like IBKR that does, transfer to there, then direct register your shares. So UK apes, German apes, European apes, Canadian apes, this is still possible. Please, please, please go to drsgme.org. It is the same process for AMC, and you can figure this all out. This website is absolutely phenomenal. I'm like more excited about it than I've ever been.
Hey, Spence.
Yeah, go for it, Callie.
Most of my shares are through Fidelity, and I've double and triple checked. My agent keeps sending me notifications that they are through DRS. Do I still have to do ComputerShare to
Yes.
make sure? Okay.
If you're buying shares from Fidelity, they are not direct registered.
Okay, even though they tell me that they are.
Fidelity lately has started pushing very bad information to investors, telling them not to DRS your shares. All the brokers are, because if people DRS their shares, that puts a massive margin pinch on the brokers who are loaning your shares out to be shorted. If you DRS your shares and they're loaning them out to be shorted, they have to recall those shares.
Got you. Okay, so do it through computer share then.
100%. And if you need to know how, go to drsgme.org.
Yeah,
go to how to register shares.
Yeah.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, I want to
Thank
make
you for all you do, man.
a quick clarification. When you're buying through computer share, not selling, when you're purchasing, they do bulk purchases. So you're not necessarily going to get filled immediately. It might be a week for your shares to get filled, simply because they're going to get real shares. They don't do this all the time. Now you can sell instantly, limit orders, market orders. So if you want to get a specific price and you want to make sure that you get GameStop at the specific price, definitely go just buy it through Fidelity and then just immediately after 2-day settlement, transfer it to computer share. If you're going to do more of a, I want to spend $10 a check type thing, definitely do it with computer share if it's more of a recurring type investment into AMC.
So when I do it through computer share, it'd be just like transferring like I did when I transferred them all to Fidelity.
Yep. All you have to do is call Fidelity and say, I want you to transfer all my shares to computer share to direct register them. But keep in mind, all your trades have to be cleared. All your trades. It doesn't matter if it's AMC or not. Your account has to be cleared and settled for them to transfer your shares to computer share.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So worst case, you might have to wait 3 days if you just made a trade.
And with Fidelity, you can do it with a virtual assistant. And then you'll get the real assistant, ask for a real assistant. But they know exactly what happens because we've been doing it for a year and a half, like every day, nonstop. So that they know.
These brokers, first of all, the first 3 letters of the word broker is bro. The first 5 letters is broke. Every broker is loaning out your shares to short. Every single one. I don't care what anybody says. This is why they're giving us trouble about direct registration, because when you DRS your shares, they are recalling the shares they lent to be shorted. That's what's going to cause the squeeze. But it has to all be done on a
3-to-1 ratio.
Basis. What's that, Neil?
It's really done on like a 3-to-1 ratio because as we know, when you take one share, you're making them really recall 3 shares because they've loaned it out so many times, or probably even more depending on the broker.
Absolutely.
So they're taking one real share out, but that really hits them in terms of, how many they actually loan from that one real share that they're going to have to go buy now on the market. To replace.
And here's the thing with Ape. If you want to DRS more Ape, like Neil just said, just buy Ape through Fidelity and then have it DRS 3 days later. And I'm telling you, if we really push DRS and Ape, it's going to put a massive, massive pinch on the shorts. But I'm doing them both. I'm going 100% AMC, Ape. I'm already like 75% DRS anyways, but I have recurring investments on AMC. I've been buying $100 worth of AMC every month for the past like 7 months. So the funny thing is, my recurring investment has been buying the dip perfectly the entire time and DRSing my shares as I go. So thanks for Neil. Thanks for putting in all the comments you just did, man. That's very clarifying to a lot of people.
Let me tell you something. Here's an interesting stat. There's about 850,000 people in Superstocks accounts, that are in there and joined and getting information. There's only about 250,000 registered individual account owners for GameStop in computer share. So that means about 25% of one of the communities that nobody really talks about has been so far able to direct register almost 60% of the float. Imagine when a few more people start knowing and when they buy GameStop and they sell their 100 shares, they put one in computer share, one at a time. 25% of a group that most people don't even know about have been able to do this simply by word of mouth marketing on a simple fact: own what you buy, let the rest go to buy and hold has to mean you hold it. If it's not buy and hold it, the broker holds it. So the simple things. But anyway, appreciate everybody.
So somebody just on YouTube left a comment and said, you can't direct register your shares from Robinhood. One, God, if you're still using Robinhood at this point, you're literally crushing your own investment. Robinhood is the right arm of Citadel, meaning Citadel sells synthetics to Robinhood. Robinhood turns around and loans your shares back out to Citadel's trading desk to short. If you're using Robinhood, you are literally the problem. But two, if you have shares in Robinhood and you've just been trying to figure out how to move them, transfer your shares from Robinhood to Fidelity first. Just say, I want to transfer to Fidelity. Don't say a word about DRS. Once they're cleared with Fidelity, then you can start DRSing your shares. The benefit of that is, as you're continuing to buy ape through Fidelity, you can DRS them at any time. Nobody should be on Robinhood. They are absolutely going to go bankrupt when margin calls hit. Robinhood will go bankrupt. They will be insolvent, and you will lose all your money in that brokerage. I guarantee it. And margin calls are coming. So I don't know. I just, if you're keeping a couple shares in Robinhood for lawsuit purposes later on, good on you. But if you're literally still buying shares from Robinhood, you might as well go work for Ken Griffin. I just don't get it. Anybody down there, if you have any questions whatsoever, it doesn't matter if you think they're stupid questions or if you're unsure or shy to talk. It's now's the perfect time for you to come up and ask them. We, with the people we have up in the speaker roles and listening right now, we can answer any question you have about direct registration or any even problems with your brokers. If you have broker troubles, come up and ask the questions because we probably run into that too. And one more time for the outside of the U.S., Canadian, European, wherever you're at in the world, any apes out there with AMC and ape or GME, if you're not sure how to DRS because your broker's telling you no, go to drsgme.org and click how to register and find your broker. And it might be something as simple as you first transferring to international brokers and then to ComputerShare. What's up, Hussein? Good, man. How you doing?
Good. So I've just been recently got into AMC and ape, and I'm from Canada. And so I have through RBC and Scotia iTrade, right? So the link is for everything, right? I think, for all the brokers and everything.
Yep. I just pulled up Scotia iTrade and I just pulled the instructions
Yeah,
up.
there's a fee apparently, like $100 fee or something. I don't understand why.
Most brokers, if you charge from, say, in America Webull to Fidelity, they actually charge you $75. So some brokers do charge fees for transfer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think of it this way, say you have 1,000 shares of AMC and you DRS them,
Mm-hmm.
you're paying $100, but you're pushing everybody that much closer to the event that we've been talking about for years, which is squeezing the stock. Now, I don't know how stable Scotia iTrade is.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, when these margin calls hit, no broker's going to be safe. These new brokers, these mobile app brokers,
Yeah.
Even some that have been around for a while, like Charles Schwab, they are going to take massive hits when these margin calls hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I'll take a look. Yeah, I think it's kind of messed up that this has been going on for 2 years and we haven't resolved this. But yeah, I think it's probably a good time to get it fixed.
Here's another option for you, bud. Go to the gme.org, drsgme.org site and click buy registered shares step by step, because there's an outside of the US way to do it. And it says, if you're a non-US citizen, there's only 2 ways to open computer share US account. 1, transfer your shares to them. Other is to buy a share through Give a Share. You can follow the many broker guides on how to transfer. If you don't want to use international brokers, you can see how to purchase through Give a Share below. So I would definitely check that website out.
Yeah, right now I have the shares that I have through the brokers through, I don't know if you're familiar with TFSA, tax-free savings account. That's how I have my shares kind of bought through my broker. So I don't know how to compare that with US, probably like 401k or something like that.
Yeah, that might fall under the type of IRA investment. Unfortunately, Computer Share does not allow direct registration of IRAs, even though they were working on doing that. So if you're in an IRA or a tax-free and you don't want to sell your shares, I just recommend buying new shares directly from Computer Share.
You can direct register IRA shares.
Because I was told by Computer Share that you can't.
No, it's a process, but absolutely you can.
Really?
Yeah. You actually have to create an LLC, and there's a process, and there's some pretty cool ape lawyers that have helped out. That they bought GameStop a while back, and they found kind of super stonks, and they're tax attorneys, and they were like, whoa, they're doing it for apes, basically not paying anything for the fee, because they know exactly what you're trying to do, and it sets it up, and there's a little bit of process to it, but it's for the people that really want to have control of their shares. So it does, something does squeeze or whatever, different things you want to be able to have control of when you can sell and what happens with those shares. So it's a little bit of a process, but it's just FYI, it can be done, and there's people that are doing it every day that can help out.
Here's the information on it right here on drsgme.org. How to register shares from an IRA. So 1, I was wrong. 2, I just learned something new. Thanks, Neil. It's awesome.
Thank you, Neil. I think I'm good. Thank you, Spence.
Hey, Spence.
Go for it.
Hey, buddy. When we get into Computer Share, we have our shares direct registered. When we go to sell, how does that play out?
So I sold shares 2 weeks ago. I went into Computer Share, clicked market sale, and I sold $2,900 worth. I got the price at that time when I clicked that button.
Gotcha.
It takes a day to clear, and I had my cash back in my checking account 12 hours later.
Okay, so let's just say we have a run up.
Yep.
And are we going to get the same price as if we would when we're on an actual phone app per se?
Yes. And if anything, Computer Share will probably be the only platform to not have some kind of issue during a massive run up.
Right, like removing the buy button or the sell button or some sort of manipulation. Gotcha.
Yeah, because your shares are cash account, and Computer Share can go to multiple different brokers to place your sale. Like if you place a sale with Robinhood, you're only able to sell through Robinhood. Meaning more than likely your order is going to get shoved off into a dark pool somewhere or have some kind of issue. But Computer Share can go to any broker they want and place your trade.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I agree with that whole Robinhood thing, man. I bailed out of Robinhood as soon as I was in the positive, man. Like you were saying, man, I don't know why anybody's with them right now, especially after that whole thing where they were restricting trades on how many you could buy, and you could only buy 1 share of this and 5 shares of that.
Yeah, Charles Schwab did it to me too, man.
Wow.
Boo, when I got them on the phone, I can't even repeat the words I said to them when they took the buy button away.
Bro, I can imagine.
Somebody on YouTube just asked me if I can DRS shares on public. You guys, yes. You can DRS shares from public. Please, in this community, on YouTube, on Twitter, the worst thing about trying to send a message is constantly repeating yourself because people refuse to go read.
Sure.
If you go to drsgme.org, you can pull up any broker on that little list under the how to register shares from a broker button. And you can check and see if your broker's on there to register shares. This community has to evolve. Apes have to evolve.
Like the law literally says that any broker has to give you the right to register your shares 2 days after you buy them. Like it's literally the law. If you try to request it from any broker and they give you a hard time or deny them, just send them a snippet of, it's right there in the law. It's on Superstonks, and I'm probably sure GME.org, because it's happened. It doesn't matter where it's at. And if they can't give you the shares, sort of like eToro, it's because they don't really own them. You're probably just having like derivatives of them and you're buying it. And you think you are through Cash App or something. You might experience problems like that because they don't actually have any shares. So you can't direct register them. And they're trying to change their fine print. So if you have shares there, it might be best just to try to transfer them. But I don't really know how you do that, or just sell them and I don't know, whatever, and buy them somewhere else where you actually get some shares you can transfer.
Here's two more questions from YouTube. One's from JRE Bell. Is DRS GME exclusively to only GME stock? No. DRS GME is showing you how to DRS any stock that you buy. It's just showing you the process. The process for AMC and GME is exactly the same, the DRS process. And then one more question. Ken Luciani. So I can't buy Ape on ComputerShare, but I can transfer from my current broker. Yes, you cannot buy Ape directly from ComputerShare because the only new Ape that can be bought on the market is directly through City Global and has to be approved by Adam Aron. He did this for a reason. He didn't want the market going to ComputerShare and buying Ape at $1.40 endlessly. So if you want to DRS more Ape, buy it from Fidelity first and then transfer it to DRS with the process that we have been talking about today. But you can buy AMC directly on ComputerShare. And I hope everybody takes all this and spreads it out into the community, man. I really hope you all do. I know everybody is always scared of speaking out on Twitter because you're worried you're going to get attacked. But really think about the importance of educating the community on DRS for this play. We've saved AMC and GME. They're not going bankrupt. Now it's time for us to get paid so we can go further into this and protect those companies even more.
Right, because we'll have more capital to do that after the squeeze.
Yeah. Dude, if this squeezes, I'm buying. I promised that I would keep 100 shares of AMC no matter what, direct registered during the squeeze, and I will. But if this thing squeezes like everybody knows it can, I'm going to buy back in massively when the price comes back down to some realistic fashion, and Adam Aron can come out and raise another $3 billion in cash off of a $40 stock price. And we sit there with our money and they sit there with their money, and we have an untouchable company for the next 100 years.
Not only that, you can invest in the ETFs and the QQQ and other things like that to, have a dividend monthly to help, sustain your living if that's your choice.
And who's to say once AMC is cash flow positive that there's not going to be a dividend?
Right.
This next 12 months, and I hate to say this because I don't like doing the whole ape community. If you're this, you're that, whatever, Sith deals and absolutes. But if you're not DRSing this next 12 months, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I really don't.
See, yeah, I haven't direct registered just because of the unknown.
Right.
But sitting and listening to this Discord here, it helps back up any questions I ever had.
Cool, man. And that's what we want. Here's the deal. If you know about DRS and you're saying it's bad, then I question what you're really doing here. But if you don't know about DRS, don't be scared to ask the questions, and don't take it personally if anybody comes at you sideways because of it. But you guys can come here and ask any question you want. Once every couple weeks, I will hold a DRS space call like this. And I'm sure Swing and I hope Neil Ape Strong comes back for sure. And also Froggy, Ethan, and Stacks Money 247. All very, very good information coming from them guys. So
Sure.
What about the word out there that it says that it's harder to sell your shares through computer share?
It's not.
I sold
It's
limit.
just as easy as a
sold
broker.
a market share. I sold a limit share. There's posts
So all
on
that's
Twitter.
FUD like all the other shit.
It's all FUD from people. So the people who say that, ask them if they have a computer share account. And when they say they don't, then go, how do you know?
I actually wanted to jump in on that question. First of all, I appreciate this call. And just as like a tip, maybe to continue to post the questions here up in the nest, and so that way people don't have to keep asking the same questions. That might help. But I wanted to add on to the selling issue. You had success selling what you did recently, but I guess, do we have any examples of a stress test? And during a squeeze, is there going to be an issue when multiple people are trying to limit order at the same time under a stress system? I guess that's my only question about that.
No, and on that, I mean, nobody can predict how big or small the squeeze is going to be. So there's no stress tests available for any broker you use. But I will tell you,
How did the
computer
stress
share
tests work out for all the major brokers on January 28th? How did that stress test work out?
Terrible.
Okay.
Right. So computer share has the ability to go sell shares and place orders with multiple brokers. Like if you're just with a regular broker, they're only going to be able to use their system. But computer share can go access multiple brokers during that time period, which means they have a better chance of selling. But if we have an event like you're talking about, chances are it's going to be a hot mess no matter what you do. But at least you know your computer share accounts are not going to go insolvent because they're cash only. Your Robinhood account during a squeeze could go insolvent.
Sure, your sell order will be in. It just won't be executed depending on the amount of traffic flow at that time.
Take a picture of it. And that's just the thesis. Go ahead, Neil.
So this is a consider, and it's something everybody should go read. Computer share recently changed the amount that you could place a limit order up for certain stocks. Well, really GameStop, but and I think it was like $3,000. Just go research it. But the just behind it is there was a bunch of apes just always had really high limit orders. Computer share, like 4.2 million, 999,000, 69,000, 69 million, always. And it just made there's just sitting orders there for months, and just messed with computer shares like back end system with their brokers. So they've made it where you can only do it's like 3,500 more than the current price. But again, in a squeeze scenario, the price is going up, then you can always at least put 3,500 higher than the price, whatever price you're seeing. But the guarantee, like they're saying, there's no chance in a squeeze that you go, you just come back to actually, we went broke and we were loaning your shares out. You'll get a letter about next process is going through bankruptcy. Kind of like if your coins were on Voyager, right? So those are inherent things you want to think about for risk mitigation. It's like, okay, how much I definitely want to get from the squeeze. I don't want to get zero. And if that's a possible outcome, that scares me. Now, personally, I'm not 100% DRS because, of course, I want to utilize my shares to make passive income, things of that nature. But there's a big risk of having if you're hoping to maximize the squeeze and the potential that your broker goes under, because it's going to fail. I mean, these people are going to fail. If we're right, it's going to fail on a massive level. And that's, something to think about. If it squeezes, why is it necessarily going to come back down? If all of our shares are direct registered in our name, you have, transfer agents going more digital, like T0 and what they were doing with the new transfer agents. So net asset value, there's no reason if it goes really high and all of our shares are DRS, they still need them, that it's going to go back down or we're running right back up. So I never really understood the whole, if everybody gets your shares DRS, why it just necessarily has to go completely back down. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. One other point, just when you're thinking about this, because people talk about wanting like security tokens or NFT dividends. It's been mentioned in something I think really should happen. But if you look at what happened, first ever Dividend was giving out Bitcoin as a dividend by a company. And the first thing that they had you do, if you wanted to receive that type of dividend, you had to go register your shares with their computer share, their transfer agent, to get them in your own name. So if that's other people's goal, they're going to make you do it anyway. You can't have it in the street name to get that type of dividend. So these are some other things to think about.
Absolutely. Very well said. I'll say this. With the squeeze, everybody talks about being diamond handed and buy and hodl. The only real way to buy and hodl is to DRS your shares. Because if you're buying and hodling shares from Robinhood, Webull, Public, whatever, you're literally not hodling. You're buying shares that are going into your brokerage and street name, and they're loaning them out and shorting your shares that they sold you. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. If you direct register your shares, they can't be loaned, they can't be shorted, which helps keep the value of your investment, if not make it go up. But we're talking about billions of shares here. I've said for a long time, I believe there's 2.5 billion AMC shares minimum out there. That's based off of multiple polls that I've taken over the past 12 months, the user of intellect data during Log the Float, and the new data that we just got from ComputerShare showing a 666 share average per ComputerShare user currently. Wow. So if we log the float and there's, say, 1.5 billion shares minimum left out in the open market that are illegal, that is an insane amount of money at even $7 a share, meaning the squeeze isn't just going to go up and come right back down. It's going to go up and it's going to hang for a while as they unlever those billions of shares. It's going to be like Tesla, maybe a little faster, but it will be like Tesla. So I can't tell you how to sell, when to sell, whatever, but all I know is right now, the only way I see this happening is with DRS. That's it. And I've sat back and let all the other tubers and all the other superstars in the community come up with these catalysts and theories while they're selling t-shirts and coffee cups and making money on super chats. But now we have the CEO, Adam Aron, coming out himself saying, if you DRS your shares, they can't be short sold. I mean, I don't know how much more you need than that. So,
hey, I'm setting up my ComputerShare right now. It says enrollment type, full reinvestment on all shares. Do I cancel that or what is that?
That's for dividends.
Okay, so I just leave it alone?
You can just put yeah. I mean so I put yes.
Coca-Cola did.
What's that?
I said if you like what Coca-Cola did and reinvest dividends and show you the compounding growth and a good company can do for you, you can play it.
So if AMC starts issuing a cash dividend, say next year they canceled that and they issue a dividend, that means the dividend they give you in cash is going to be reinvested into new AMC shares.
Perfect. Thank you.
But you can change that at any time.
Yep. I'm telling you, I got my ape on day one of issuance because I had shares in ComputerShare while everybody else was waiting 8 days. And I even called it. I said there's going to be a massive amount of FTDs and people aren't going to get their shares. We had 43 million FTDs. So if Adam Aron decides to come out later and issue an NFT dividend like we asked, which he's been putting out a lot of NFTs lately, guess who's going to get it first? ComputerShare.
Yeah, I received my ape, I think the day after. It was on that Tuesday or Wednesday, but no, I didn't have to wait that full 7 or 8 days.
Yep. I had mine in my ComputerShare account the day of. And you're guaranteed a proxy. The most important thing about all this is if you even register one share, you're guaranteed to get proxy material for the next annual in the vote. Adam Aron specifically mentioned that there was only about 245 million shares or so voted on during the last annual. If we don't vote during the annual meetings, the institutions can come in and vote and steal our company right out from under us. So it's super important to make sure you get your proxy material.
Yeah, the thing that boggles my mind also, like you guys were saying about DRS and your shares and doing your due diligence, I'm shocked by the amount of people that I work with that have money in the market that doesn't know anything about the market. They couldn't even tell you what the price of their share is at the time.
Well, that's the thing. People pushing DRS FUD, just ask them, do you have a computer share account? And when they say no, then go. Ethan, what's up, man?
What's it called? I posted early this morning. I think it would help the transition or the what's it called, to see the momentum. Basically, I don't know if all of us should email investor relations and computer share. So imagine waiting 3 months. So, for example, if they implement it where they could get the data off, I think it would 100%. I mean, facilitate and expedite, and what's it called? It's more. If we get this data or update more frequently as opposed to waiting every quarter, I think more people will be engaged.
Yeah, I'm absolutely game with that. So I requested them to be 2 months ago. I sent them emails multiple times saying we need to computer share data each earnings call. So they put it on the 10Q, which surprised me. I'm really happy they did that. But if we can get them, and I don't know if they can, but if we can get them to have an active data update, even if it's weekly, that would be amazing.
Yeah, they can. Computer share can do that, but it has to be requested by the client.
Yep.
Right. So So if it's either on their end or on AMC's website or computer share, where they, what's it called? They allow them to disseminate it.
Yeah. I'll email them today and ask. I'll send another request.
Yeah. So what we've done, because GameStop didn't do that, but what the team has done over there is built the DRS tracker, and it tracks it, daily live, and people basically post it.
Yeah, but the thing is, people are going to question it. If we could,
I get what you're saying.
I don't think it's unlawful. It's definitely not unlawful, because at the end of the day, what's the difference between disseminating it once every quarter or daily? That argument doesn't pass the sniff test. And
I think
no, but I don't know that they will, because I don't know that it won't be. They won't make a vote. Like, it has to be a vote.
Disseminate information.
To disseminate the DRS, because like he said, he's like, we discussed it with the board and decided to put it on the 10Q, but like, were we privy to that board conversation that they're about to have, so they could do another one? It was like, yeah, we've discussed it, and we think we should call a vote. I'm just saying it's a process that don't definitely get started, and hopefully they will, because we own the company, so we should be able to see our data. It's our data.
We should actually know how many shares are out in the wild. I mean, this is just insane. But at the end of the day, this is information that they're disseminating once every 3 months. It should be, daily. There should be, any shareholder should know what's going on with the shares. So if that information is disseminated on their website, where they could just get that data through the API and connect to computer share, it's not a Herculean request. I mean, this is just insane that we even have to request it. One last question I had. I see this all the time with some, I don't know if they're shills, I don't know if they're who they are really, but they always try to say, attack DRS, and they always like to use GME. And they always say, oh, well, look where GME's at. I always say, from August till now, look where GME has never touched its 52-week low. AMC has now not only broken at 52-week low, it's now tested it another 3 times, so a total of 4 times. And they always say, oh, but look at GME. I always say, is GME 100% DRS. If it gets to 100%, then come at us. But at the end of the day, there's still wiggle room for these guys to continue to short sale naked. If we get to 100, they don't have anything to stand on. But this argument that, where it's GME, it just doesn't pass the sniff test. It makes me question sometimes, because if you get to 100, that's direct. That's 100. That's evidence that everything is in a vault.
We don't even need to get to 100, bro.
That's true, but at the end of the day,
there's 190 million shares owned by institutions or so right now. As long as we get to that point, I mean, go to 100. I'm all about getting to 100. But
once it gets close, somebody's going to stop hearing the music. I don't know if it's Diamond or who, and he's like, all right, this ends now. We're going long.
They're going to get margin called like crazy.
Correct.
Like, as it gets closer to that number, yeah, I mean, a lot of people talk about GME. I'm like, we're like 55, 60%, give or take on any week. But, every quarter it's gone up, the amount of shares that have been direct registered by new people. More and more people are learning. So it's not decelerating, it's accelerating. And, when you get about that 65, 70, 75%, that's when FOMO really starts catching up. And then that last 10% goes real quick. And I think more AMC, if it ever, people got on the same page, could lock up a significant amount of flow really quick if people ever, could really learn the truth about owning your shares. But the point I said about GME in the tracker daily was, it was questioned and it's still questioned, but the accuracy that it has every time there's been an actual report in the quarterly reports, because they don't, it's released the number of direct registered shares, the degree of accuracy is astonishing. So every time we're starting to realize it's more and more people realize how accurate it is. It's a good barometer, just hey, we're still moving in the right direction. Not, hey, this is the number and this is what we have to do, but we're still accelerating, in the right direction. And so, I might reach out to those guys if people are, if we get, given down by AMC, if it's going to be a long process, just how they built it, the tracker, because it's not simple, to just go in there and post and so you think people are putting fake shares. It's not that simple. Most people can't even post in, super stonks. You have to have at least 1,200 karma to make a reply. So you have to go to another separate place, but it's very well vetted out and it's very accurate. It's updated daily with the amount of shares outstanding, the amount of float, amount retail owns, amount insiders own, and it's, kind of updated daily, but it's a good way to kind of make sure that you're headed in the right direction. Thanks.
Hey, Spence, can I jump in?
Please.
Yeah, so what my idea is, I think someone with a large following or platform like Tara or yourself or anyone else, we need to create a Twitter that's just like a Twitter account that's just for DRS. And I feel like if everyone followed that account and everyone went on there and took screenshots of their transfer to computer share or direct registering their shares, that would give us a start to do the count and have an idea. And it'll also separate the people who are here, not chills, not FUD, who are not here doing the buy and hold bullshit and are here for the squeeze. And those people could be in that Twitter account. And then also, if that Twitter account gets enough followers, then maybe that person could be the leader for that crowd. And they could reach out to Adam Aron and ask him, point blank questions like, hey, can you get with computer share and create those APIs and do automatic report? We just need somebody on our behalf to speak, because what's happening is obviously this community is divided. I don't know if it's 50-50, 70-30, whatever it is. But there's a lot of fake people out there. There's a lot of shills out there. And then there are real people out there who are here for the squeeze and want to make money. And I think everyone is just attacking each other and giving their opinions, which are just bullshit. But we need somebody who's going to be able to communicate with Adam Aron directly, and someone on our behalf who's going to push for what we want. Because I don't think Adam Aron doesn't care about the squeeze. Probably doesn't want the squeeze to happen because he knows everyone's going to be out. But we need that. I feel like we need that. And, just having just random people yell at each other and talk shit to each other and call names to, it's just ridiculous. We just need somebody like a true leader, someone who's not selling hopium like fucking trades and all these other guys out there and doing technical analysis bullshit. We just need somebody real who's going to be like speaking on our behalf. Thank you.
I absolutely love that idea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to DM probably about 25 different people and put out, and I'll make sure you're included. We'll put that idea out, and then we'll try to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4 people that can run that type of page together to keep it, non-biased and on the same message. And we'll start trying to do that. I think that's a phenomenal idea. And on top of that, I emailed John Merriweather 2 minutes ago. And I said, I am writing to request that AMC stock and ape stock direct registration data be updated on investor relations site or a filing weekly every Friday so the investor community can see the data needed to know where the shares sit weekly. Is this possible? Thank you. 2 minutes later, John Merriweather emailed me back. Thomas, thanks for the email. The DRS information will be provided in our quarterly SEC reporting. Be safe and well. So I'm not saying to not keep asking him for the, an updated number, but he responded very quickly to that.
That's great.
So,
and that's what we need. And also what I was thinking too, if people are scared about direct registering their AMC shares, let's start with ape. Let's get all of ape and let's have ape squeezed in. I'm holding 17,000 shares. I bought at all-time highs last year, right? So I'm in this thing over $1 million and I'm down 950K. Okay. So I'm gonna.
What, bro? Man, you gotta sell some calls, dude. What the fuck?
Well, I'm gonna direct register my shares, but I have my shares are with Fidelity, and then they're in a holdings account, an LLC holdings account, and so I have to call ComputerShare, get that set up. It's a business account, so I think it's a little bit more complicated, but it's doable. And then I'm gonna, and I can be the first one who shares a screenshot of both. I'll direct register AMC and A both, and maybe that could kick off, other people and some confidence in other people.
Yeah, I'll definitely get to work on finding enough people to get together to go, hey, yeah, we should have these 3 people try to maintain this Twitter account so people can post their direct registrations and just, update the community on a personal level from an unbiased account. If I did it, I think too many people would be like, oh, we don't like Spence, so we're not going to do it. But if we find people across the community that are willing to do it, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, and I just think we need to take it into our own hands and start our own, reporting and just get it out there. Have everyone retweet, everyone who has YouTube channels talk about it. Hey, go to this Twitter, follow the page, and I don't know. I
agree. We'll start talking about that.
Hey, Spence, can I jump here real quick because I got to get back to work actually.
Go for
it. But hey, thanks for letting me come up. But hey, the only couple of things I would throw out to think about, on the shorting side of it, he's right on. You can't short it as in the normal way. Brokers can still short it, unfortunately, because if you want to buy a share, they're still going to sell you a share in your broker account. Can short the company as much as they want because that's there's no shares out there because we literally have the float locked up.
Oh.
They just literally just kept shorting it. Nothing was done, even though he proved that there were shorts in it. And the other thing is once you get enough registered shares into the direct registry, they know exactly how many, as I like to call it, it's an accounting error. They know how many receipts they need to cover. And there's a good chance that this thing goes sideways on us, unfortunately, once again, I'm neutral about doing it or not doing it, but I'm afraid that there's a point that when there's so much and something is proven, once again, it's going to be halted, and now there's settling of all the, because once again, if you had actually all the shares that float, the SEC can go, well, there's a billion shares out here. You all keep your shares. We're going to sell these out here. And it's really going to, I think, be hard to get back into the DTC once you're outside the DTC, setting in direct registry. And that's just my opinion.
The DTCC is the problem.
They're gonna need your shares. They're gonna need your shares. That's the whole point.
No, once you they need to close the fakes. Once they start buying up the fakes, they only have to take this thing back to the 516 million shares.
They're going to need your shares too, because they've shorted well over 100%, meaning 20% of the legal shares are floated too.
They haven't been like,
or
they
shorted
haven't
too.
been the derivatives market, so they might have 500,000 puts that they've sold at 50 cents. It's not getting down there. And at some point, they're going to not be able to swap these anymore. And somebody's going to say, hey, no, like, where's those 500,000, well, in this case, it'd be like 50 million or 500 million shares that you said you sell at 50 cents. Well, they don't even have 500 million shares. They don't have any shares. So at that point, they got to go buy those shares to fulfill those orders to close their books because they're insolvent. You know, say Credit Suisse. You know, they have 55. They're the GameStop's largest put holder, and they're going bankrupt. Nobody wants those. Well, they got to get those puts covered eventually. You can't just keep kicking those, you know, down the road. So the shares that are being traded, yes, but then because you want some left in the brokers, so you can, you know, put pressure on the brokers and sell at you know, with the brokers, and as this thing really goes up. So I've never been personally 100% direct registered, but they're going to need at some point, if you direct register a certain amount, going to come into that you know, place. And when you're with computer share, I mean, you're selling it to the prime broker share from Bank of America, that what's out there. So, but I definitely, you know, value your opinion, and sounds like you've done some research.
Well, the only thing, and think of it this way, and this is a share is a share. It doesn't matter if you think you have a real or not. When you're DTC and you think you have a real, sure, or I'm sorry, direct registered, yeah, you have a real position. They have to get us to sell. Nobody's selling. That's what's screwing them right now. But once they can start getting somebody outside selling those shares, if the ones they were closing is in the DTC, and you got to remember, one thing I worry about is once you're outside the DTC, and the DTC is going to be on the biggest amount of the hook on this, are they going to let you back in when the price starts going up? No, they just want to close the 1,000. Let's just, I'm throwing hypothetical. Let's say you've got everything registered and there's only 1,000 shares of the company, and there's 1,000 left on the open market that you can see. They're going to close the 1,000 in the open market and forget your direct registry. That's what I'd worry about.
Yeah, but then what happens after there's no more 1,000 though?
Then the game's over. The
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, there's more thousands that eventually the DTC is going to have to come to us. They've been direct registered. We're like, we need those back. Like, you know, there's been big orders that need to be closed down. We don't have any more of those shares. We've got all on the open markets. Those are all gone. And now we have to come.
Think about it as a receipt. It's an accounting problem right now. It's really not a share problem. It's an accounting, because if I've gave all these receipts out and I need to return all these receipts, it doesn't matter where they're at. As long as I've sold an extra 1,000 receipts, I need to close 1,000 receipts. It doesn't matter if it comes from the direct registry or somebody that's outside it that hasn't registered yet is willing to sell me that share or that receipt. I close it. That's really the issue here. I mean, this has been months and months ago that we talked about some of this. That what's the scary part of it is once there's down to 516 million shares left of AMC, the game's over. There's no going up because all shorts.
The intensity and speed of direct registering is going to cause a massive event. If people just stop and go out and direct register their shares in the next month, the intensity and speed is going to cause a lot of shorts to have to force close very quickly. Now, if everybody does it slow and it takes 12 months to DRS, say 80% of the float, we're still going to get a squeeze anyways. But the longer and the more amount of time we give shorts to reset their positions as we DRS, the more control they're going to have over it. But in the end, if we do 80, 90, 100% of the float, we're going to win regardless. Swing, go ahead, man. You've had your hand up for a hot minute. Swing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the whole concept of letting them back in the DTC, all that, to me, that honestly, that it's FUD. If they don't, the DTCC can't have players be, issuing more shares if they don't have shares to begin with. And that's what DRS does, is it literally pulls the shares out of the DTCC, so they do not have those shares.
Right. It's my understanding that we take away the leverage that the institutions have over us if we direct register our shares.
Yeah, I mean, let's not overcomplicate it. Bottom line is, if we direct register our shares, they can't be short sold. And in doing that, you're taking shares away from your broker that may be lent out to short sellers that have no idea they're naked short. Forced closing them, meaning we're going to have price discovery if this happens on any type of a good level, good volume. And I will tell you, the speed and intensity of that volume is what will trigger this. And if not, then slow and steady, the tortoise wins the race. I mean, it's a non-losing scenario. So it's just a matter of getting everybody aimed at the same target at this point, which is going to require everyone to go out and spread the word, because there's people out there that don't like me in the community, and they're very big influencers. I don't know why. Maybe it's because this is going to end the grift. There's not going to be anything left to talk about except DRS, meaning all the grifting, clickbait, MOAS imminent because of Gary Gensler or whatever is gone. So I'm hoping all the YouTubers out there get on the same page, quit messing around, and help people do this properly. This is it. I mean, it's an end game for sure. And not only that, it's not like we're just DRS and AMC. We now have an entire float of ape that has been shorted down to nothing. We have two floats that could potentially be 100% shorted. It's just insane to think about. JD, what's up, man?
Hey, Spence, thanks for bringing me up. And again, thanks for having me on the call last night. I'm going to be a little bit repetitive, but my goal over the next few days is to try and jump on, when I can, as many space calls as I can to just share this. And I'm going to steal an idea from Vince a little earlier. I thought it was a solid idea. Look, I think DRS is a good thing. My personal opinion is it's going to take a while. That shouldn't stop this group from doing it, but it'll take a while. But I'm also going to say this. The fallacy of this community is that we're trying to find ways of playing the game in the rules. And what we have to start to understand is they're breaking and changing every rule. It's like playing a football game. They control the refs, the scoreboard, the size of the field, and they change the rule every set of downs. They will continue to find a way to block what we are doing unless we infiltrate the other side, meaning we got to get someone on the board. We have the votes. We've got, if you believe that this stock has been overshorted, if that's the belief, there's hundreds of millions of shares that have hundreds of millions of votes. If we could just understand, pick a name, nominate someone, Get everyone together to put the votes in. You'll get a board member. That's being an activist investor.
The only way you're gonna for sure get to vote is if you DRS your shares to ensure you get a proxy statement.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm with you on that. Meaning, look, if
you still there, JD?
when that proxy statements are going to be ready for the next quarterly, everyone on this call, in this community, if you need to be DRS to get it, well, then that could be another way to get it done. But listen, that could happen in 90 days. That's the next quarterly meeting. That could accelerate this. And if that other side understands that this community is truly going to be activist and get someone on the board, they're really going to start to listen. That's the way it works in the activist community. So thanks for having me up. I'm going to jump off, but I'm going to try and spread that message as much as I can. But getting someone on the other side is going to help this, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think kind of like on the space call yesterday with Tara, somebody else brought that idea up of getting somebody on the board on our behalf. We really need that.
There's a lot of talk about Al from Boston talking with Patrick Byrne about trying to get him on a board seat in AMC, and that would be personally that would be my pick. If anybody's got experience with naked short selling and trying to destroy his company, it's Patrick Byrne. Overstock was the first company to really come out and expose naked shorts.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. We can even push for him right off the bat,
Biggins, what's up, man?
Hey, Spence. Thanks for bringing me up. I've talked with you a couple of times over the last 6 months about Fidelity. And if you'll give me just a few moments, there's a lot of people probably in the community that are wondering what happens in Fidelity with your AMC and your ape shares. So I've had a couple of dialogues now, and then after Adam Aron yesterday on the DRS, I wanted to verify a couple of things again this morning. So I'm in the middle of a conversation, but if you'll give me 30 seconds, I want to read to the community because there's probably a lot of people in the community that are going through their 401k. I know that's where the majority of my shares are. So chat opens up. Are my AMC and ape shares in my 401k direct registered? I do not want my shares available for loan to market makers like Citadel and Virtue. Thanks for your patience. No, they are not being loaned out as you do not have margin on the account, nor have you signed a margin agreement, which would make the shares available to be loaned out. So my X number of shares of AMC and X number of shares of APE are not available for loan. No, they are not. Are they direct registered with AMC? No, they are not. How can I direct register them? Is it possible to direct register all of my shares that are in my 401k? Because they are tied to a workplace retirement account, I don't believe you can. With IRAs, you're not able to. So my general thought process is you would have to be able to be in this account either, but I'd like to defer that question to the Brokerage Link team as they would know for certain. So I owe the Brokerage Link team a call about that. So those of you that are going through your retirement 401k accounts with your shares, they can't be loaned, but they're not direct registered. And Spence, I'll report back as soon as I get off the call with the Brokerage Link service account. Thanks for bringing me up. Keep up the good work.
Hey, AMC, go to drsgme.org.
I appreciate that comment, but at the same time, would you trust if that was Weeble saying that your account, if those shares can't be shared, would you trust if Moo would what the hell name is Moo for a brokerage? When that thing came out,
Swing, you're breaking up, man.
Okay, so how do you make money? How do you make money, Moo? Don't trust these brokers. If the shares are not in your name, you do not own them. Period. If you cannot will, like when you direct register the shares, you can set it up so that your descendants get your shares directly through through that process. Like this whole game of, oh, if it's in an IRA or if it's a TFSRA, do I think that these brokers shouldn't be loaning out the shares if it's in a cash account? Yes, absolutely. Is that the letter of the law? Most likely. Are they following the letter of the law? When has any brokerage followed the letter of the law? When has JP Morgan followed the letter of the law when it comes to, the manipulating the metals market?
The problem is, Swing.
Do you really think that some agent on the phone that is getting paid probably minimum wage, lucky if they're even in the United States, is going to tell you that Fidelity doesn't have the number of shares that they need? I pretty much guarantee you that Fidelity probably, because of the migration that happened and everybody moving to Fidelity for GME's case probably has 3 times the float owed to their shareholders just in Fidelity alone. Like, like the math, just thinking through the math of how many shares were needed, and the fact that the DTCC decided to not do the split the way that they were supposed to. You really trust any of this? Like, put the shares actually in your legal name. Have the company know that you own this company. Have your votes actually count. Yes, I'm all for getting people on the board. I'm all for that. How do we do that? The only way to 100% do that is to have the shares in your name and know that vote is actually counted, because computer share is getting it. If your shares are owned in a brokerage of any type, and I get it, like I'm not advocating for anybody to sell the shares if they're in some sort of 401k account and can't actually get them out. But whenever the DRS conversation happens, I get, I hear this argument of, oh, well, I have my shares here, or I have my shares here, or people that have this, don't worry about your shares if it's in a cash account. No, don't trust a fact of a cash account, because I guarantee you that Robinhood, even for people that had cash accounts, they didn't have the proper shares. That's probably why they had to pull the buy button away. So anyway, end of rant.
On Sunday, SBF tweeted that everything was fine.
Hey, Swing, though, we shouldn't beat a dead horse, though, on the 401ks, because you cannot. I have Schwab. There's nothing you can do. I mean, if you can't DRS them. Schwab, they're in Schwab. It is what it is. I don't trust them when they say they don't loan them, but there's nothing you can do. I mean,
there is actually.
Well,
it's a process. It's a process, but
you can do an IRA. There is a way to do it.
Not an IRA, not an IRA, through a company 401k.
Okay,
that's different, because it's your sponsorship into your company. A lot of people have their stocks there, like myself, and there's rules that they don't allow certain things, and you can't get it out.
That's fine, but I'm not. I guess what I'm saying is that it's a very subtle way of spreading, I guess, the message of don't worry about it, by saying, well, if it's in this, or if it's cash. That is what I'm speaking out against, because there's a lot of people that may have their stuff in a cash account that's not a protected account, that's locked up, that it's impossible. But an IRA, it is possible to do that.
No, I agree.
It's a pain.
Slam the 401k, so we just need to make sure we're all on the same page, because otherwise people go in circles with the information. At IRA, if you own your account, absolutely. And I'm not against DRS. I'm actually, and Spence knows me for a while, I'm actually getting all my shares that are outside my 401k in the process of doing DRS right now. It's just, I want to make sure, so we don't get frustration and FUD. I mean, I've gone in circles with Schwab. I even called my administrator of my corporation. They said, yeah, you cannot DRS them without, technically, I'd have to sell them, pull out my 401k, which means I'd get taxed on them, plus penalties, the whole 9 yards. It has to be owned under Schwab because they own the account. But you are correct. If you own your own individual IRA, there is a lot of different things you can do, but corporate sponsored plans, you really are tied a lot of times to what the corporation does. That's all I'm saying, just so people don't get frustrated hearing things like, I can't do it because I've tried every aspect of it. That gets frustration as well. So just to make sure we're like all on the same page and understand some of the situations are, but absolutely where you are ownership of your account, I don't care where it's at, you can DRS. There's not an issue with that. So that's all I was saying, just to make sure we understand there are certain ways that they can't be done, but we should focus on the ones that can be, because I have them in both places. So that's all I'm saying.
I would say this. It's probably better at this point, if you can't DRS your 401k shares, to start buying shares directly through computer share. I mean, I'm not saying to stop adding shares to your 401k by any means. But if this is happening and there's an opportunity that your 401k shares are being lent out, which I almost guarantee you they probably are, because you're buying synthetic shares. Your 401k is grabbing synthetic shares off the market from the same institutions that we buy when we buy them through Fidelity. So if you're going to go forward with this, the best thing to do is just buy shares directly from computer share.
Oh, I don't disagree. And I have them in both places, but I have a really good 401k. So there's tax advantages to it, and then my company matches. So I'm taking free money and putting it in some of my AMC stocks, but I have it outside as well. So, there's advantages to doing stuff inside of 401k for obvious reasons too. But and honestly, right now, I'm just DRSing. I'm not even, my personal opinion, I'm not really interested in buying any more AMC today till we see a swing up. That's just me. Not selling anything, but I'm more interested in getting as much as I can DRS'd and locked up. That's kind of what I see. We've done the buy and hold thing for how long now, and see where it's got us. I'm more for the DRS push, and that's what I'm vocal about. So, but I agree. Right, I have it in both. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. Absolutely. Let's do shares that we hold outside of 401 and mainly IRAs, even though there is a because once APE or AMC squeezes, the other is going to squeeze, and then GME is going to squeeze, and that's the end game. So, going forward, it's all about everybody in the community pushing the proper education and challenging the people that are spreading FUD so we can all is recorded on Facebook and it's on YouTube. Please share it out to people so they can go through this and listen and learn.
Hey Spence, one second before you go. Credit Suisse still holds quite a few shares long. That doesn't make sense to me if their own team is spreading news articles about it going to 95 cents.
They're hedging.
Yet they still own. What's the scoop there?
So if they own shares long and they're spreading misinformation about AMC, it's probably because they have massive unreported shorts.
I'm not hearing anything though, so wasn't sure if my connection ended up breaking or something.
Hold on, let me fix swing here. Our call's getting shorted big time. So Credit Suisse is definitely short AMC, but you don't have to report your short positions, right? They're most definitely short GME. You own, if you're short a stock like AMC and GME, you buy a long position to hedge against your short potentially blowing you out. That's why they own long shares.
So they spread the FUD, get it to drop. They clear a few of their shorts positions, and then they hope it squeezes themselves before they go out of business. Is that?
Or their short position is unmanageable So they have to buy long shares to hedge against any type of crazy upside. Say if they're short AMC and they were short down, there was people short in AMC like crazy from $1.90 to $10, right?
Right.
So if Credit Suisse is upside down on all their plays, which they are, they're losing money like crazy. They have to buy AMC long to protect themselves from any upside as much as they can. Because if they don't, they'll get margin called almost immediately.
So they're praying that it gets squeezed and they make money on the long.
No. They're only going long in case it does squeeze, because it's going to offset the losses on their short position.
Credit Suisse is going insolvent.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're still holding the Archegos bag from GameStop. This shit hasn't worked off their books yet.
Yeah, and when they start trying to borrow money from the Saudis, you know they don't plan on paying it back. Bottom line.
Okay.
I don't know if the Saudis or somebody you want to mess with, though.
They're borrowing money from the Saudis because they know that they can just disappear and not pay it back. I have seen it happen before. Wow. And it's just crazy. So when they start selling assets like the hotel they sold, you know they're in some trouble beyond like any type of Bear Stearns or Lehman Brothers thing. So there's an event coming, and I'm telling you, if you guys want to expedite this process, DRS is the way to do it. GME, AMC, APE, all of it. It's if GME squeezes, more than likely AMC squeezes. If AMC squeezes, more than likely GME squeezes. And we've all, across multiple communities and stocks, have come to the same conclusion: DRS. So,
thanks, Spence. You're a light, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Spence. Thanks for your service too, brother.
Oh yeah, you too. I'm guessing you serve too.
Yeah, it's 82nd Airborne Division.
Right on, man. Couple days away. Time to go to Applebee's, I guess, and
I hear
stand in line for 5 hours.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Swing, thanks for co-hosting, buddy, and everybody who came up to talk. Neil, Ape Strong, man, appreciate you guys. We'll try to do this like maybe once a week or something, and we'll just bust FUD and educate. So.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I was actually able to get on this Discord because I'm not at work because I'm in the hurricane area. So.
Yep. Well, good luck. Stay safe, man.
That's the plan. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Do no Lieutenant Dan shit, man. Stay safe.
I got you, buddy.
All right.
Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. Please like and subscribe. Please share this information out to everybody. Please share the video. Please share the Twitter space call. You guys, Adam Aron told us what we need to do. It's not rocket science anymore. All the information you need to know how to do this is on this website. Everything. If you're overseas, you can even check how to register brokers from overseas by clicking your broker and reading the instructions on how to DRS. It's that simple. So anyways, thanks for coming. Please like, sub, share the video out. I'll try to do another call next week. If we don't have some major catalyst pop up this week, then we'll do another call. I'll try to get Tara back on. But you guys take care. Froggy Stonks out.